morning. This is on State of Florida versus Jamel Demmons. Present is Mr. Demmons. Mr. Demmons, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
Stop playing with my brother!
Rappers have been sharing support for YNW Melly ever since his mistrial was granted by the judge during trial.
And ladies and gentlemen, she's a juror inquiry form. It indicates that after further discussions, reviewing the evidence and speaking freely amongst the jurors, we are still unable to reach a unanimous decision. So at this time, what I am going to do is just declare mistrial because it was mistrial. And again, I want to thank you very much for your time and attention. It's very much appreciated. You're free to go. All right, score time. Thank you, ladies.
However, the support would stop once it was revealed why the YNW mistrial was even granted in the first place, as a report this week would be released stating, according to a juror who served in the YNW Melly trial, claims a majority of the jurors wanted to convict him, but one woman that was on the jury was determined to find Melly not guilty, and she convinced two others to say he wasn't guilty too. Quote, his mom is lying, it was a 9-3 guilty vote, not the other way around, as this is in response to YNW Melly's mother, Jamie King, who after the mistrial was granted, released on her social media, 9 not guilties, 3 guilty. It was a mistrial, my son will be home. God is still working. However, it all gets much deeper than this, as it seems as if the juror that was causing the issues, not wanting to convict Melly, allegedly knew from the beginning of trial she was not going to change her mind at all.
Now, this is from Local 10 News right out of Fort Lauderdale, and they said most jurors wanted to convict Melly of 2 counts of the Broward County, the former juror has said. Now, this juror is speaking on the condition of anonymity, which means that they're not going to disclose their identity. The juror blamed the mistrial on one woman who served on the jury who appeared to be determined to acquit Jamel Demmons. The juror goes on to say that from day one, she had issues with the 4-person selected, at one point crossing her arms and saying that she was done. When another juror asked to not shut down and she set her feelings aside, she was manipulative, she was rude, she yelled insults at everyone, and she was just had a different opinion. The juror stated that she was there just to cause chaos.
Sources claim that she wanted to be a, quote, hero, possibly wanting fame or financial gain to be the one to save YNW Melly's life in his court case, as the original votes were 11-1 for YNW Melly being guilty. However, the juror that wanted to be the hero voting not guilty all alone would then do something very unexpected during the deliberation.
On the last day of deliberation, the former juror said that while it appeared that there was 11-1 to convict Demmons, with the woman pulled 2 jurors aside and spoke to them for a few minutes and convinced them to come to her side. They stated, and I quote, then she came over and announced to the group that they had changed their minds, but when another juror asked why she was speaking for them, the former juror said, adding that the woman then hurled insults, including at the man who was questioning her. And without an agreement, Broward County Circuit Judge John J. Murphy declared the mistrial, and you guys remember that.
As it seems as if the juror that is doing the interview was very upset with how the juror that wanted to be a hero was going about things during trial, as she would even mention on why she's even speaking in an interview about the trial in the first place, as this would go on to make YNW Melly's mother look extremely unprofessional.
The former juror said that the decision to speak up about what happened behind the scenes resulted from reports from Demmons' mother, Jamie King, who said that they were deadlocked at 9-3 in favor of an acquittal, which again, we find out from this juror, is incorrect. The former juror said it was actually the opposite. She said that she had came out because she said, I don't want someone out there changing my vote. And she then goes on to say that you tell a lie enough, it becomes the truth. Now here's the best snippet. It says the next hearing for the case is on August 4th, and Demon's team, as well as the prosecutors, agreed to start jury selection for the next trial on October 2nd. But again, we don't know if the judge is going to agree to a dual trial.
This means YNW Melly should have been guilty, and this explains why the state wants the next YNW Melly trial to be as soon as possible, as during YNW Melly's court hearings this week, it would be revealed the trial date is now set for October 9th. This allows YNW Bortland's trial on October 2nd to begin for a week before Melly's, as this also gives time for YNW Bortland to make a decision if he's going to be creating a plea deal against Melly. However, it would also be announced during court hearing, YNW Melly hires a new lead attorney in Jamie Benjamin to replace former lead David A. Howard in the upcoming retrial. Benjamin joins the returning Melly team of Stewart and Raven Liberty. Benjamin, a legacy criminal defense attorney with a lengthy state and federal court experience in various cases. He's also won several penalty cases, which is what YNW Melly is facing. Benjamin is also a former president of the Florida Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers, as YNW Melly allegedly fired his old attorney of David A. Howard for not putting in as much effort as his second-in-command lawyer. However, the very interesting part of the court hearing was this moment here, where it was announced YNW Melly smiled and said, "I'm coming home," to family members in the gallery as he was leaving the courtroom.
Be a defense continuance then on everybody's part. And then we set it for a status in November. If something comes up, just contact my JA. We can put it on the docket anytime you want. All right? Very good. All right, guys. Thank you. No, I gave him that. Give us that. Movement. First part of November. Good for you guys. Number 10. Very good. State 10. 10. November 10.
As YNW Melly seems very confident with his new lead lawyer. However, many believe that he shouldn't, as this week, O-Block resident Jay Hood, a friend of King Von, would reveal something unexpected during an interview, as King Von may have mentioned a little too much to a group of people that live in O-Block, as Jay Hood would just go and reveal everything that Von said.
Did Von really tell you that Melly told him that he was two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Von was mad at me. Bro, why you put up there, bro? Walter Bam. I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around them?
He revealed information that we never even knew. This involves Sack Chaser and Juvie going after Melly for financial gain. King Von and YNW Melly were best friends, from making a song together titled Rolling, to even Von and Dirk calling YNW Melly in jail when he was at his lowest.
Bust, you got tippy. Bust harder than mine. It's me. It's the right. It's you all. I said, you had tippy. Strong.
As it's going to be very interesting if the interview with Jay Hood stating this to the entire world will be used in the upcoming YNW Melly retrial, as the existing evidence that's already being used against Melly is already concerning, as the lead detective shared a text message of YNW Melly admitting to doing the crime.
The PC Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, "I did that," and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly count says what?
After that, SHHHH.
And could you please stay and point on the right side of the screen exactly which part you're saying where the YNW Melly account says, "I did that"?
I did that. This is the thread ID. This is the text. This is the author. And this is the recipient. Then you come down here, same thing. The ID is for the actual message. which is just specific that one message. Then the threat ID is the actual continuing message.
Thankfully for YNW Melly, his trial will not be with YNW Bortland, as a lawyer would go on to explain why trying them together would have been a slam dunk for the prosecution. However, Melly's lawyers were able to come up huge and have the trials separate.
Issue here, and you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together. It just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once, and also you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking a penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. You're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found guilty.
Lawyers revealed YNW Melly got extremely lucky. A huge part of the mistrial even happening was from the juror that wanted to be a hero alongside YNW Melly's angry lawyer, as on closing day, he was screaming over the fact that the jury had to make a decision on YNW Melly's life with such little evidence.
And tell him that he's going to live life in the state penitentiary without parole or being on parole. This is the investigation they want you to rely upon and say it's proof beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt? I guess so, according to them.
YNW Melly's lawyer would continue on being angry inside of the courtroom, as his next argument would be the original crime document was, quote, a drive-by, yet the police never even looked at the surrounding stores that had cameras on the outside to investigate the area, as the street that the drive-by occurred on allegedly had grocery stores and a bank located on the same street with a surveillance camera, which would have recorded the license plates of the vehicles driving at the specific time.
That he doesn't go to the on Miramar Parkway to check their surveillance tape. He doesn't go to Applebee's to check their surveillance tape. He doesn't go to Polo Tropical or the gas station or the bank on Miramar Parkway to check their surveillance tapes. When the car's on 184th Avenue, he doesn't go to the fire station to check their tapes, surveillance tapes. Doesn't go back to the two elementary schools, Sunset Lakes and West Broward Elementary, to check their surveillance tape, because he knows it all. He knows it. How do you know it if you don't check?
As this proves very sloppy police work and just zero overall effort, alongside the amazing testimony of YNW Melly's 6th grade best friend, who would go to reveal that Melly wasn't even at the crime scene when it occurred.
Are you 100% sure that Melly got into the red Mitsubishi to go home?
Yes.
Are you 100% sure that this young man learned of his friends at the exact same time you learned of it?
Yes.
And that was at the house?
Yes.
Are you 100% sure that when people were getting on the phone, that this young man was looking for his phone to call people?
Yes.
As Davis would even double down his claims of YNW Melly not being there, sharing that Melly was picked up by the YNW members that were driving in the red vehicle that was parked beside Melly's Jeep at the recording studio. The red vehicle picked up YNW Melly due to them needing someone with house keys to let them into the YNW crib. Bortland and Melly were the only two with a set of keys.
Okay, so the only two people you know who had a key to the house was this young man.
Yes.
And Cortland Henry.
Yes.
Did you see this young man unlock the door of the house?
Yes.
Who was the last person to get out of the red Mitsubishi to go inside the house?
Trayvon.
He was in the cot still asleep.
Did you see where Melly went?
To his room.
And where was his bedroom?
When you first walked in the house, it can't miss it. It's right down the left.
Okay. This is a 1 or 2 story house?
2.
Anthony Davis claims that he watched YNW Melly walk to the front door, open the door, and then walk straight to his bedroom to go to sleep. While sleeping for roughly an hour or two, members in the YNW crib would begin screaming, yelling for everybody to wake up as they were learning what happened to Sack Chaser and Juvie.
Did there come a time in the early morning hours that you were woken up and heard some distressing news?
Yes.
What did you hear?
That second Juvie.
When you heard that, did you see Melly in the house?
Yes.
Did you see Melly how he was dressed in the house?
Yes.
What was he wearing?
Shorts and a t-shirt, I think.
As Anthony Davis saw YNW Melly inside of the house, waking up out of bed in a t-shirt and shorts and exiting his bedroom. This actually gives YNW Melly an alibi, however it depends on if he was truly telling the truth while on the stand, as YNW Juvie's mother does not think so at all, calling him a liar on Facebook. However, this is now useless though for the next trial, due to the rumors stating that YNW Bortland will snitch on YNW Melly to save himself. His interrogation interview from 2018 was leaked this week, as YNW Bortland can be heard stating this crime happened out of jealousy.
Let's talk about why. Are you having issues with anyone?
I mean, we are upcoming artists and stuff, so people like, you know, when you like start doing better than people, they start hating and stuff, you know what I'm saying?
So you had some jealousy issues?
Yeah, it's like jealousy issues, but gotten it. I haven't really been on there, but like he like my friend that's way now, God bless. He was telling me like, right, he always telling me about how people, just like today, he was telling me some folks from up our way.
What's up your way?
Like Vero
Beach?
Beach, like that's where I used to stay, you know what I'm saying? So I grew up there, so that's our hometown, you know what I'm
So
saying?
what did your friend say about from Vero Beach? What was he saying to you?
He was saying basically just like, they were on like Instagram, Facebook, like sneak it.
This would then lead into the officers wanting to know about the in-the-moment details. How was Bortland driving? Did he see any faces or license plates? And did he crash into anything while the drive-by was going on?
And I'm driving, ducking for my life, trying to make sure I don't get hit. And you telling me, you telling me about some shit. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. I'm driving. I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. You know what I'm saying? What I'm gonna be worried about? You know what I'm saying?
I know it's not for you to worry about.
Shit crazy, bro.
But if you tell me it happened there's got to be some evidence there. There's going to be broken glass, just like there's broken glass over here from when you guys opened the doors and stuff like that. Okay, there's going to be broken glass over there when the windows got out. There's going to be casings from the people at your car. Okay, there's going to be evidence over there. Okay, right now there's nothing. I kind of think I know what happened because I got information.
The interrogation would then end off on a very serious question, where the police officer would ask Bortland, if you know who did this, would you tell me?
By just telling me the truth, even if it's something that I don't want to hear, but I respect the truth rather than BS. Okay, and it's a simple question. If you knew who did this, okay, you may or may not know. If you knew who did this, would you tell me? It's either a yes or no question. Answer.
Honestly.
Yeah, honestly. The truth. You wouldn't?
Because I wouldn't want to be a part of that. I wouldn't want to be.
As YNW Bortland does not give a firm yes or no answer by using his voice, and instead, he shakes his head side to side, referencing no, as this is because if it was YNW Melly who did this crime, then YNW Bortland would obviously know that. So saying no to the officer would have caused them to lie, and then would have led to his voice either coming out as a different volume, where it would have been a clear indicator to police that he was lying. However, the feds already had a hunch that it was YNW Melly and Bortland. This is due to the Jeep that they were driving in not seeming as if a regular car that has gone through a crime such as this, as Sergeant Williams would reveal that investigating the vehicle was weird and there was no way that this could have been a drive-by.
Assignment, which is to determine if this is a drive. And my determination was that this is not a drive-by, and it's based upon this picture here, which is a very good picture to describe it. All of these rounds are done. One is done at a stationary position. At a stationary position when all but one of these rounds are going in. The one round that has some movement in it, which is round site L here, the actually moving in that to create the little bit of a that you see there.
Okay, a lot of information in that answer, so let's break it down a little bit. You mentioned so I'm gonna zoom in on site F.
As Williams took note of every single hole that was inside of the car, and then he used what is known as the stick method to find out how the holes were created, including the angle of where it came from, where YNW Melly's seat showed a perfect match.
Number, you said 17 outside the car. How many rounds were inside of the car?
3.
And can you exclude the for Mr. Williams and Mr. Thomas is coming from outside of the car?
Yes. From the driver's side back seat.
As to the shot that Christopher Thomas, where did that emanate from?
Driver's side back seat.
Okay. Is it possible for there to have been 2 inside that car?
No.
Why not?
There is no time.